What's up? Welcome back to it. It's been a while since I've been on. A lot of things have happened. Obviously, I mean, this is the time of year where I told you guys, or like before, this is when I'm usually taking a couple vacations, and I'm usually kind of spotty with the live streams and videos and stuff. But don't worry, it's going to be getting back to it. Um, I still have one more vacation to take. uh, I'm an Alaskan. I mean, in the middle of winter, you got to take your vacations. You have to. If you don't, you suffer. There's something to be said with losing out on a ton of vitamin D, and that's if those of you that don't know, that's what you get from the sun, man. And there's not much sun up here around this time of year, so we have to go elsewhere to get it. Pill form that works too, but not as well as the real stuff. Guys, what's up, man? I don't know if I got a big enough suitcase, bro. What's up, Cat? How's it going, brother? Good to see you guys in here. Those of you that are new, make sure you throw a like down, subscribe if you haven't. Check out what I'm all about. Got tons of videos up from the last couple years since I've been started doing this. It's always a lot of fun. I'm happy to be here. Before we get started, I wanted to kind of touch on something. It's kind of been on my mind. Years and years ago, before when I was a youngling, a brand new adult, let's put it that way, I was a completely different person. um had a lot of bad things going on. I was doing a lot of bad things, and put myself in some positions that probably shouldn't have, right? And because of that, and because of a couple instances that resulted in me um taking live fire, literally, I inherited a significant amount of PTS, post traumatic stress. I don't call it post traumatic stress disorder. I don't think it's a disorder. And anybody who's experienced that, it is not a disorder. It's something that happens when you have something crazy happen to you. Um, and with that, a lot of struggles came along. And even to this day, this is 20 years later, um, I struggle a little bit with some of it, and I always will. But it's not the reason I'm talking about this isn't just because of me, and I'm not going to get into the story. Maybe someday I will, but not right now. What I do want to talk about is the reality of post-traumatic stress and what it does to people, and how hard it is for those people to feel like they can contribute to society. A lot of people in the military experience this, especially. Um, and if you're struggling with it, please just there's a lot of resources that you can use to take steps forward with it. Like I said, it's not something that you get over or move past completely. It never will be that. But there are things that you can do, resources you can use, people you can talk to learn to deal with it. And then that's what I ended up doing. If you are any of people watching this have PTS and are struggling with it, uh, if you don't know where to look or who to talk to me. Send me a message. Tell me here. Send me your email in the comments. Whatever it takes. Get a hold of me. I'm also on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. You can message me privately there. If you need help, if you need to talk to somebody, if you just want to talk, you don't really want to go get help, but you want to talk to somebody else, talk to me. I'm here. Just wanted to throw that out there for anybody who's struggling with it. It is a real thing. It's not a disorder. I hate it when people call it PTSD. It's not a disorder. It's a result. And a lot of times it's the result of men and women sacrificing their lives or putting their lives on the line, rather, for our country and the people in this country. So just want to throw that out there. You're not alone. And find someone to talk to. If you don't know, talk to me. I'll help. I'll do what I can to help you. Moving on. We have got so much to talk about. And ultimately, the big question here, as far as the Miami Dolphins goes, is this is the setting sun on a very, very frustrating season, last couple seasons, really. For me personally, it's been a frustrating 3 years as a Miami Dolphins fan. The first 2 years of McDaniel's coaching tenure, I was optimistic, right? And was thinking maybe things were moving in the right direction. That was very short-lived, and it was kind of it was a bit of a Trojan horse, a little bit of a surprise, or a sneaky kind of feeling that in the back of my mind that this isn't really going to work the way this is going. And sure enough, it didn't work out, right? So the purpose of this live stream is not to talk about how it didn't work. We've covered that so much. We've beaten that horse to death. We don't need to talk about that anymore. There's new things on the horizon, a new coaching staff. The whole coaching staff has been redone. It's all been gone through. There's only a couple that made it past the cut, right? I think John Embry is going to end up making it on the team as a coach. I think he's going to be retained. I think other than that, we're pretty much all new. Well, and our offensive coordinator we have him still. There's really only one. There's really only one that I'm real concerned about, and you just said it. I'm not sure how I feel about Hackett, but hopefully we can get a playoff win this year. First of all, I agree. I really hope that we can, but I'm not going to be disappointed if we don't get a playoff win this year. It might take a year or two to get past this and to get this new scheme, style, attitude established. It might take a little bit, but I think the way this is being set up, it's being set up so that no one's going to get fired after 1 year. I think that they're looking for certain things, and it's not necessarily a win-loss record this year. Like I said, I know we would all hope that we can do better than we have. I think I've heard a little rumor of that too. The thing about Hackett, he's the one hire that I'm just kind of, why? As our offensive coordinator, or I'm sorry, as our quarterbacks coach. He's the one hire out of all these people that we've hired for this coaching staff that I'm just kind of meh about. And I think largely it might be unfair of me because I don't really like the Jets at all. I'm not going to say I hate the Jets, but I hate the Jets. So just knowing that he came from there and the results that he got out of quarterbacks while he was there, it kind of makes me the results he got as a coach in Denver, he's just got a long slew of not the best. Now, limiting your resources to and your time and your efforts to quarterbacks alone, maybe that'll be a little better fit for Hackett. But we'll see. And the main thing I keep telling people is we wanted change, right? That's what we wanted. We wanted change. And we're getting that. So I'm not going to start complaining and second guessing any decisions made at this point until I have a reason to start questioning and second guessing decisions, which means we have so many changes right now and so many more coming down the pipe that it's kind of short-sighted of us as fans to be like, oh, here we go again. There's a bunch of bad decisions. I mean, I'll save that for some of my other content creator counterparts to start walking down that valley. I'm not doing it. I'm going to stay on the hills where I have Overwatch, and I'm going to wait and see. I'm not jumping down into the valley and plowing through. I'm not going to do it. Maybe as the season goes on, if things really, really fall off, and if it really, really looks like horrible, then I'll change my tune. But for now, I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm going to stay enthused right now because I'm super happy that we're seeing changes everywhere. Sometimes you'll see a head coach come in and almost all of the coaching staff will stay. That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing everything changing. And the best way to facilitate different results than what we've had is to make changes. The more, the better. Even if it takes a little while for those changes to come, I'm going to stay optimistic with this. I like a lot of these moves. I'm pretty happy with what we're doing right now. And if it just continues this way, especially when you're looking at the results or the things that are happening with other teams, oh man, I would be really upset if I was a Browns fan right now. I'd be really upset if I was a Buffalo Bills fan right now. right now, as far as Miami Dolphins fans go, we should be pretty excited about this, as far as you can be without having any actual results to look at. Right? We don't have that yet. We don't have that benefit of being able to see into the future. No, I do agree. There's a lot of Packers coaching staff on this team. I do agree. That's true. It is kind of a Miami Packers or a Packers 2.0 type of situation here. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, what have we done that's been so screwed up over the last 5, 6, 10 years? Number one, it's drafting. Drafting has been horrible. The Packers have drafted as been one of the best drafting teams in the NFL for years. So if we're really looking at a Miami Packers type of team, I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. It's not a bad thing, especially with the results we've had as a team. So maybe that's a sticking point for us as fans to give a little bit of slack here and say, hey, this is good. This is good. Michael, what's up, brother? Good to see you in here too. Thank you for coming. Yeah, and that's why I'm not expecting a whole bunch of wins. That's why I'm not expecting a whole bunch of wins this year. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for things to start changing. I'm looking for an attitude change mainly, but I mean, I'm looking for a good draft. You know, these are the things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a tough team. I think that Hafley is going to do that for us. I've never had this feeling before with a new coach, or had this feeling at all in the last 20 years. This is the first time where I'm feeling kind of optimistic about that type of stuff, and I can't really put my finger on why just yet, other than seeing changes that we've all known needs to happen. Yeah, that's true. I actually am one of the people that was kind of saying that with the McDaniel experiment. It kind of seemed like a 49ers 2.0, but there was a lot of different stuff going on too. I wouldn't really say it's 100% like that. There's definitely more Packers stuff going on here in Miami now than there was Niners stuff going on the last few years. So I don't know. We'll see. It's exciting. Thanks for coming in, Joe. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Oh, I guess I should. I'm slacking, guys. I need to wake up. Here we go. Let's see. Let me pull this up real quick. Get this going so that if anybody does want to jump in, they may do that. Boom. Let me set this to the top. All right. So at the top of the screen in the comments, you guys will see the option to join if you want to jump in. And if there's something you want to talk about, if you want to get something off your chest, please go right ahead. Jump into the live stream. Just try to be sober. Oh, man. There we go. All right. So I've been watching as many of the interactions with Hafley as I can because I really want to get a finger on this guy and get him pinned out. And every video or every interview that I watch of him, it's just I like him more. I like his attitude. I like the way he talks. It's good to hear. I like first of all, he's a very personable head coach, and at the same time he's a disciplinarian. So it's an interesting mix. It's not something we're used to. Usually we have the extremes, right? And now we have this kind of more of a balanced style of coach, and he's defensive coordinating leaning. So the defensive coordinator that comes in, I'm not sure what the relationship is going to be with play calling and everything else as far as that goes. I think that Hackett seems like the kind of guy that's going to have somebody else and allow them to make play calls and stuff. But at the same time, Hafley's going to be making some calls here and there too. He's going to pull the trump card. He seems like that kind of a guy where he is going to allow some of that control to go to the defensive coordinator. But at the same time, I think he's going to be pushing for things. So I like the blueprint from what I'm seeing so far. I will put it that way for now. I'm not going to complain about this. It can't really get any worse. That's kind of where we're at with this, right? I mean, we've seen what happens when the wheels essentially fall off, right? There's going to be some changes coming soon. We saw that The cap is going to jump another $25 million or so right there for this year. So that's going to give us a little bit more leeway. You could make 2 or 3 moves that make sense for the team that would free us up and give us about $35 or $36 million over the cap without the $25 million increase in the salary cap. So basically, when the league year starts, 3 moves will put us at about $55 to $60 million over the cap. That's a pretty big swing. Now, is that enough? Really, probably not. It's probably not. We're going to have to do a few more things, and that's another reason why I wouldn't really be expecting big splashes in free agency. I'm not going to expect that. I'm not looking at huge amounts of wins this year. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to see a new nucleus of players, with the few that we have that are definitely part of that, are going to be part of that. I want to see a new nucleus of players, young, a couple good drafts. We do have those couple things happen, and this team is a completely different team and much more healthy in the salary cap. Now, it's going to take us this year for sure, at least, to dig ourselves out of cap hell with the dead cap situation that we have going on, which is absolutely horrible. But yeah, once you release Hill, you're going to be above, but there's a couple more moves you can do that would put us about 55 or 60 over, especially with you consider the add of the 25 million or so that's coming in at the beginning of the year, beginning of the league year. So with those things happening, I mean, it's not as horrible of a cap situation as we thought. You have to think that there's no way that they keep Tyreek Hill. It just doesn't make sense for anybody. I think we're going to see that. We also need to talk about this possibility of Malik Willis because it is a very real possibility. Another thing to discuss if anybody wants to hop on here and talk, but Malik Willis is, I mean, there's not a huge body of work to look at there and say, oh, this is the guy, but he's a veteran. He's got some experience playing. He's played rather well. It's an interesting thing to think about. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we ended up picking him up. I don't think it's going to be, it's not a game-changing style of contract or signing. So if something like that happened, that would probably be the biggest signing that we would make in free agency. We know that this new iterations of the Dolphins front office isn't going to be big on going into free agency looking for players. And that's why, Joe, I think you might be right. Somebody drafting, definitely, like I always say that you should draft a quarterback every single year, at least somewhere in the draft. Doesn't have to be the first round, but I think drafting a quarterback every year or at least every other year is a fantastic idea. You never know when you're going to hit on something real special. You know, some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL haven't been first rounders. So it's an interesting theory. And that's why I'm perplexed about, also not only what you're saying, Joe, but the thought of Malik Willis as well. It did. And that, dude, exactly. That's kind of what I'm looking at here is it's like, well, he came out, remember he played a couple games at some other point and it was a little underwhelming. It wasn't anything special or anything good. But the last time he came in for the Packers, he played hard. I mean, he was borderline unstoppable. And he's a gamer. And that's kind of one of those things that would be nice to have. And if anything else, if he doesn't end up being our starting quarterback, what an amazing backup quarterback he would be to have. A gamer, somebody that can come in without a lot of first team snaps and can ball. So that's what I'm looking at. I don't know. I like I said, I'm not going to be hating on the Hafley hire. I'm liking Hafley more and more. But I was a big advocate for Chris Shula. That was one of the guys that I had on my top 3 list. I had Shula on there. I actually did not have Hafley on my top 3, but like I said, every time I listen to an interview from this guy, I kind of like him more and more. So from where I'm at right now, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's definitely a different style of coach than what Mike McDaniel is. So hopefully in a year or two, we look back at this and go, Shula who? not our Shula, but Chris Shula. Chris Shula who? Hopefully, we'll see. At some point down the road, I would love to have Shula too. And like I said, this is some content creators kind of think that this is going to be a throwaway coaching staff, which means you bring them in here for a year to deal with the horrible cap situation and dead cap situation, and then bring in your real trust next year. And it could be that. I'm not going to say it's not. Plenty of teams have done it. The Patriots did it, and almost opened up a whirlwind of crap from that. But we'll see. Yeah, say it with all the memes or with all the emojis. Got to. Thanks for coming in, brother. It's going to be an interesting year. There's going to be a lot to talk about. I'm excited. Like I said, this was such a rough couple years that it's nice to at least see a little bit of change. Like, we've been screaming for it. We're getting it. So I'm not going to complain until I have something to complain about. Right now, everything is gravy. I want to see more changes. What I can't wait for is I can't wait for the draft. I can't wait to start seeing what we're going to be doing with this team. Cap, what's up, brother? Dude, thanks for coming in, man. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on. I've been MIA. Had a little bit of a sickness. Had a little bit of the vacation I took, and another one I'm about to take. It's been a busy January and February. Yeah, this is where it gets, but this is where it starts to get interesting. Is we're looking at these players now. Tua, Tyreek, Chubb. I don't know about Minka right now. I hope Minka. Like I said, I would like Minka to stay, especially the way he played last year. I think he did a lot of good things for us. And like he even said, he's like, I've enjoyed the crap out of myself this year playing for this team. And he's such a hard worker and a great example on and off the field that I would love to have Minka back, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. As far as Chubb goes, another guy who just played balls out for us this year. And unfortunately, I feel like he's probably going to end up leaving the team. He's one of those three moves that I said we could make that would end up putting us, with the increase in cap space for the new league year. I think he's one of the three, him and Hill are the two of them, that would put us at about 55 million over or under the cap. So we'll see. And if exactly, Joe, that's it right there. It means that we're going to have to be drafting some edge players if he's gone, and I think that's a good thing. That's part of this process, right? Hey, dude, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I love it when we get new guys in here to watch the show. It's good stuff. The Senior Bowl was weird. Let me see here. Let me think. I have a video planned that deals with the Senior Bowl specifically. So I'm not going to spoil that too much right now. But there was a couple players that I was impressed with in that game. There was also a few that I was majorly disappointed in. But we'll get to that. I'll get to that, I promise. I'll get that video out soon. The more I hear on Halfley, he is so far saying all the right things. Out of all the hires, Hackett is the one I don't care for. The rest I really like. Yeah, exactly. That's you might have missed it when I said that earlier. Hackett is the only one that I'm just kind of on. Everything else so far, I'm pretty pleased with. At least to the point where I'm not going to complain yet, right? Elwood, you got me?
Absolutely.
What up, bro?
Are you there?
I'm here.
How was your vacation, sir?
It was freaking excellent. And I'm going to go back to Mexico here in 3 weeks.
I knew that.
I can't wait. Did you see I actually ran into... go ahead.
I'll say it's a lot different than in Alaska, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a lot better. at least in this weather we're having now. Everybody needs that warm weather. We weren't created for 50 degrees below zero, that's for sure.
Like this is one of those. It's 19 in Virginia tonight, and wind chill like down to 5 degrees. So it's one of our colder winters that we've had in a really long time.
Right, I heard that. Yeah, down there in the southeast area, or the eastern side of the states, there's a pretty good little cold spell and snowstorm going on.
Yeah, but I'm not going to compare us to you. No way in hell.
Well, you guys are used to a lot warmer, so it's probably just as bad. I mean, if you're not used to this weather at all, I mean, it can really get you.
Oh yeah, we had you can say we had an ice storm, first ice storm we've had in like 20 years, and it's the world shut down.
Right.
So for like 2 days, like, oh my God, we're gonna die. Y'all deal with that like every day.
Yeah, I think in regards to this comment here, I agree. I think that it's time to give up on the Austin Jackson experiment. And Chris Greer was the one who was really, really, really pushing the Austin Jackson movement. Now that he's gone, and especially with the fact that the man cannot stay healthy, and that's the big thing for Austin Jackson.
You got 1 year left of his contract. You just do you bail on him or just get that year out of it? What do you think? Just cut it.
I think I don't know. Here's the thing about that is, as far as I recollect, I don't have his contract up in front of me, but there's almost no money in this contract this year. So
yeah, it's nothing guaranteed, but we could, nothing guaranteed. We could cut him for and save money, but you have him on the contract.
Yeah, I think that personally, I mean, if I was the Dolphins, he'd probably be one of those players that I would probably let slide. He's not one that I would keep just because of the money situation and because he really cannot stay healthy. He gets injured every year and misses half the season.
Yeah, so, he did. Tua played more than he did.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, he does play okay. I mean, he's not a great football player. He hasn't been, but he does play.
But I'm with you a second earlier when you were talking about Jeff Athlete and the way the more he talks, the more I like him. That physical thing. I mean, I believe, like you said, we could find another right tackle, even in this draft. Yeah. Or hell, Larry Borum. Larry Borum was pretty, acceptable, but he was in the McDaniel system. Now you're going to get to another system, and be, you know what I'm trying to say.
Definitely. I want to see how this plays out. I think McDaniel would have refined his coaching style. The only thing I blame McDaniel for is not pulling a mechanically can't play anymore Tua while we were mathematically still alive. I think a lot of us were wondering why Tua was still in there, but I think at the same time, I can see why Mike McDaniel was trying to give Tua every chance. But if you watched the sidelines during some of those games where Tua was playing on his way out, those last few games he played, Mike McDaniel was, I mean, after an interception, he was looking at Tua and he was pointing at the sidelines at the bench. He was like, right there. That's where you're going. Yeah. I think Mike McDaniel knew. I think he knew.
I mean, you can see it in Tua's eyes. He was gun shy, man. He didn't want to get, that he was doing business decisions. He was just throwing it. If I get concussed, I'm out. You know what I mean? I probably, they'll make me retire from this. So as long as I'm alive, I'm making money.
Yeah, exactly. This one's interesting.
The difference between 99 million. The difference between 99 million and no millions. 99 million.
Yeah. Exactly. But okay, so let's look at this one here. The other big question I have is where to play Jonas Vainaya. Put him at right guard.
He's got to go back to
play well. Well, here's the thing: we have a new offensive line coach and a new assistant offensive line coach. And with that, I would not be surprised if we, like I said, I have not given up on Jonas Vainaya. I think that he improved a lot the last half of the season there, playing the position that he's not used to. So
absolutely.
And I think that if he ends up going back, man, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I promise I'll promise. And like I said, I'll eat my crow if I'm wrong about this. But if he ends up going back to right guard, the man is going to make it. He's going to kill people. I after watching him this year, watching the struggle, I don't know if he ends up going
one thing. It's like, it's like wiping your butt with a different hand. Yes, you can do it, but it's going to end up messy.
Yeah. I mean, he could end up staying where he's at, and I'm not going to complain about that either because I think that he's improved massively last year. And I think that, like I said, I keep saying this repeatedly, you got to give these linemen, these offensive linemen, a little bit of time, not just one half of the season, right? And if we were that impatient, Savaianaya could have been dropped from the team the first half of the year the way he played. But the improvement that we saw, the improvement that we saw in the second half of the season, and the fact that was his first year, I think he's got a long and good career ahead of him, and I would love to see him stick around for sure.
Yeah, I want him to shift to the right side. I'm hoping that the Dolphins can sign Patrick Paul's brother from the Commanders, Chris Paul, to play left guard. So now you got a brother connection that they grew up, fighting each other, learning the playbook themselves, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know about Aaron Brewer, man. Is he going to be big enough for Hafley's system? Oh, you know what I mean? Or is he going to, I've heard people saying they're going to trade him to San Diego to go with Mike McDaniels,
No, the thing about Aaron Brewer's staying. Aaron Brewer's going to stay. I think that the way Aaron Brewer plays, number one, he plays like he weighs about 70 pounds more than he does. Aaron Brewer, he's a great center. He's going to be he's up for a pretty big prestigious NFL award this year. I think he's going to actually end up getting it when you consider the support that he had around him and the lack thereof. I think he's a shoo-in for it. I think that Brewer stays, even though he's going to probably end up being the smallest offensive lineman on our team.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Cole Strange, he did an admirable job, but he's more likely to be a center too. He's a center size. I don't know how New England picked him at 22, and from University of Chattanooga, in the first round that year. I was like, who in the hell is Cole Strange?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a Belichick guy, so Belichick saw something in doing so. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
How about Belichick? If you look at first team, first ballot Hall of Famer. Oh my God!
All right, I'm going to say this one time, and then we're going to move on. But I'm going to address the Bill Belichick fuzz real quick. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about Bill Belichick much on this stream because I'm a Dolphins fan and I hate the Patriots. But
me too,
dude. Belichick got hosed.
My God,
the man has what 6 Super Bowls as a head coach.
Oh, yeah,
two not as a head coach.
Yeah, so he's defense coordinator for the Giants.
So at this point, I mean, what does that man?
If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, who is?
Dude, yeah. What does that man have to do to get into the Hall of Fame? If there's anybody that deserves a first ballot Hall of Fame entry, that's him. He deserved it, and it's a shame that he didn't get it. It makes you question who these people are that make this vote. It's so terrible.
Yeah, the voters are a joke.
Okay, we got to move on. I can't talk about Bill
Belichick
much. All right, so
this ain't a Patriot joke. This ain't a Patriot joke.
Thanks for being in here, Josh.
I just thought I'd have to mention that because that was on my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was shocked when I found out about all that. I was like, you got to be joking me. All right, stats say that it takes about 2 years to get back to their level when swapping positions. He shifted from offensive tackle to left guard. He's going to be fine. I agree. I think the Savaianaya is going to do great for us. I think he's going to improve massively in this new system, number one. So I'm excited to see it. He says Brewer's a top 3 center in the league. He's not going anywhere. I would disagree and say he's a top 2 center. I have him at number 2 in the league. I think he's a fantastic player regardless. And like I said, I don't think that there's any way we let him go. It would be the stupidest thing in the world if we did, for sure.
I agree that, but I heard that they might be offering Brewer for a second round pick.
I hope that we don't fall into any of that. I don't want to give up Brewer for a third rounder. or
I
really
know,
a
but a
second
rebuild,
rounder.
you know what I mean? I understand, but a rebuild, an extra second, helps, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I know. I just can't imagine this offensive line without him. He's the glue. So we'll see what ends up happening though.
You're
Yeah,
right. You're
Josh, you're
right.
right.
Absolutely right.
The scheme needs a smart center over a big body, especially that position. I agree 100%. Especially with the way that he has the ability to get into the second level. And I mean, we saw examples this year of Brewer getting into the third level of defense and laying out blocks, which is unreal for an
Oh,
offensive lineman. And that speaks to his speed.
unbelievable.
That speaks to his speed and his ability to engage and disengage blocks. You think about how hard that is for a lineman to do, to have the speed to get into the to get after your initial block, which Brewer does. He does amazingly. He snaps onto that first block well, and then he disengages, advances into the second level, lays another block, and can disengage and lay another block on the safety and corners. It's unreal to see a lineman do that, have that ability, and he does it better than anybody else in the league. And in my opinion, that's why you could make an argument for Aaron Brewer being the best center in the NFL.
All right. Well, I got a
Definitely.
question for you. What do you think
Go.
about the rumors of the AR-15 trade? They talk about trading for AR-15, Anthony Richardson from the Colts.
I don't want it.
And run a RPO with Achane and Richardson.
I think.
Oh my God! Could you imagine the running game? And then Waddle going deep.
The problem is Anthony Richardson can't throw. He wouldn't be able to
he
hit
can throw.
Waddle or anybody else. I don't think he can.
I don't know. He can throw a ball through a cinder block wall, but I don't know if you know where he's throwing it to.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If we're looking at a quarterback that can run that RPO style of offense, I really think that Willis is the way to go with that. Malik Willis. He's much more accurate downfield, has the ability to run still, and he's tough. And I would say he can lay people out, which is crazy to say for a quarterback.
But I think he's going to be out. He's going to out money us. You know what I'm saying? Justin Fields got 2 years, $45 million last year. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to get that kind of deal this year? Are we going to do $22.5 million? You know what I mean, for 2 years? I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, with the relationships that are in, I'm kind of with Josh on this one. Where right here it says if it's any like a free agent style of QB, I think Willis is the best way to go. But here's the deal: even if we end up going with a free agent or a free agent QB, or going with a veteran style of quarterback, which I think it would be good to have one on the team, I don't necessarily think that there's many options for us this year. I mean, there's people we could get. Well, I know that
honestly, I'd rather go with Quinn Ewers and see what he's got. You know what I mean? If he's the next Brock Purdy, then great. If not, hopefully we'll get like the top 3 pick. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to take either Art Manning or Levitt or Minshew or whoever that is going to be great next year. You know what I mean? In that 2027 ultimate quarterback draft.
Well,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
And here's the thing. Let me address this real quick. Yeah, if James Daniels he didn't, and at this point with James Daniels, as far as I'm concerned, you've got to get him out of here. It was a failure. I mean, if he could show that he's completely healthy and able to compete this year, it might be different. But in my opinion, as far as James Daniels goes, he's got to go.
He hasn't shown he's been completely healthy in his whole career.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, there is a good chance that Willis ends up being here. There's a lot of people talking about it, and this is one of those situations where if there's smoke, there's fire. I feel like Willis would be a good fit to bring in here. But here's the thing: no matter who you bring in, we have to keep this in the center of our focus. Is that Quinn Ewers has earned a chance to compete for the starting job for this team. So when we go into this offseason and we start getting together for team activities and preseason and all this stuff, it needs to be a true quarterback competition. And I think Hafley's even hinted at that's what it's going to be. So no matter who they bring in, he's already said, I'm not looking to make big splashes in free agency. So forget about the big name signings from free agency. So what I'm looking at here is I think that we drafted a QB, like I always say that we should every year, draft a quarterback somewhere, put him in the competition,
Yeah,
put
that's what they
Ewers in the
said.
competition, and you got to bring in some free agent quarterback, somebody with a little bit of experience, even if they don't end up playing. Just having a quarterback in the quarterback room that has experience playing in the NFL, it would
Jameis
benefit
Winston.
greatly. And I think that that's another name you could look at. I think that if you have that situation in the quarterback room with a true competition, I think that's the best results we're going to have. Obviously, I do not think that Tua is going to be on the team this year. I think we're going to eat that crow. It's going to hurt for a year or two, but we'll be all right.
Got you. Can't go forward with him. Cannot go forward with him. Cannot go forward with him, no matter what. We have to, we've already eat our fucking. I'm sorry, I'm gonna eat our crow. We got to get rid of him.
Yeah, and also, yeah, Grandizer, you're right. There is not just Davis Mills, but there's some other quarterbacks that are going to be available in free agency. I'm trying to wait until the end of the league year, and wait till the new league year starts, and then we're going to really look at those free agent lists. But there are going to be some quarterbacks out there that would make sense to pop into that quarterback competition that we're going to have, because I think we're definitely going to have one for sure. We'll see how it ends up playing out. But for now, I think Quinn Ewers, you have to have him have a chance, right? He's played serviceably enough. Showed us a lot of things that we were happy about. Had some, obviously, he's got some things to burp out, but I like what I saw from Quinn Ewers. Even if we let Tua compete, we all know how good he is in practice. Game days are completely different, so we just got to eat the money and move on. Yeah, I don't think Tua should be a part of this conversation. I think that we should definitely. Oh, Josh, you're killing me. I'm trying to read this comment, and then you pop up yours. I'm gonna get to his in a second. If we let Tua compete, we all know how good he's in practice. Yeah, you're right. He definitely does a lot better in practice. I don't think that he should be a part of the competition. I think that Tua should be off the team before any of that happens. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Heard they're talking to Ted Ginn to come back and play wide receiver. Shut up. You're kidding.
One of the greatest mistakes ever. What a great mistake that was. Number 9, let's get Ted Ginn.
No. Oh man, I have, Josh, I'm gonna get your address, dude. I have something to send you, a little Ted Ginn memorabilia that I got for you the other day at a card show. I gotta send it to him. Trey Lance, that's another option. You're right. That's another option. Like I said, there's going to be some quarterbacks that we're going to be able to get into here. Josh says he's sorry I'm busy that day. It's happening. I'm going to do it. If Tua restructures his contract and goes back to working out in the offseason like in 2023, then that's the only way I can see the fence keeping or should keep Tua. Super unpopular take. Well, no, it's not. I mean, look, Tua is a veteran quarterback, and he does have a lot of experience in the NFL. And in this situation, where mainly the big thing that I want to circle like 50 times with a red pen in your comment is restructures his contract. If Tua restructures his contract, and I'm not saying the kind of restructure that just adds years to the contract, I'm talking about a restructure that essentially means a pay cut. If Tua was willing to do that, then I would be so down to let him hang on the team and see how he does in a real quarterback competition. But the question is would he be willing to do that? I mean, like I said, I don't know. I like Tua as a person. It sucks what happened to him this year, but I don't know if he would be willing to do that. It's hard to say. I feel like the way he played, if he's realistic about it, if he's realistic about how he played, I think that if he wants to stay with Miami, the only thing that he's going to be able to do is take a restructure. The problem is he knows that if he goes to another team, if we cut him, he's getting that money no matter what. So basically, it would be on him to just give the money back. So we'll see.
He is not giving money back. He is going to sit there because he knows one more cut and he could be out of the league. He's going to keep every cent that he has. That's business.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that in this situation, if he did want to stay and was willing to, that would be the only way that I would be okay with it. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, hey, y'all can have $50 million back. I don't need this. Yeah, that's what he's going to do, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Y'all signed the contract. I've got the money. Whatever you need to do, cut me, whatever. I'm making the money. I'm not taking no less money because I know y'all don't like me and y'all don't want me here. And, I want my money, and I'll go somewhere else and I'll make more money.
Word is the LA Rams are targeting Tua.
Yeah, he'd be a great backup for Stafford.
That's interesting. Going from Matt Stafford to a quarterback that has more injury-prone tendencies than he does.
Yeah, he can stand on the sideline, and Matt Stafford gets hurt one game or two, and then he comes in and he can play that game. But yeah, Tua, he cannot.
I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about this. Grandizer, how dare you?
Trust Tua.
I don't even want to think about that. Tua. No, Joe says if I was Tua, I would not bet on myself. Good point. Yeah, and that's where I think we're all at. I think we all agree in the realistic, real world type situations. I think that at the end of the day, Tua is not going to be back on this team. I think the Tua era is definitely over. I got a lot of hate when I said the Finns should not pay Tannehill or Tua, and I hate there's no backup plan for that for when the QB rookie's contract cut. Yeah, I was on that boat too, and those of you that have been around me since the beginning, been around this channel, I was very adamant about not giving Tua that contract especially when we did, and when we did, I was kind of upset about it. I mean, I'm not a Tua hater, and I'm not a Tua lover either, but I definitely did not want that contract to happen, and it was the same with Tannehill when we gave him that contract. I was really, and it seemed like with Tannehill, we were giving that kid more money than he deserved from the very beginning. Remember, when he came into the league, when we drafted him, he wasn't even going to play. He missed a part of training camp because he was holding out for more money. So it seemed like with Tannehill, we were constantly giving that kid more money than he deserved.
That's because of Mike Sherman. We hired him as an offensive coordinator, and that was his quarterback at Texas A&M. And he didn't even play quarterback. His junior year or sophomore year, he was a wide receiver, and Gerard Johnson, who we tried to sign, or somebody signed, he is the offensive, he's the quarterbacks coach from Texans. He was the guy that was ahead of Ryan Tannehill, made him go to play wide receiver.
Yeah. Yep, and we just keep. It seems like what you say here is history repeating itself, and that's what it was, and that's why I just hope that we learn our lesson here.
I agree with the way. Yeah, it might be. They were calling us Green Bay South now, so it doesn't matter. You got to set up a structure, and you got to set up a culture to win. Draft quarterbacks every year, draft defensive ends every year. You know what I mean? If you hit on them, great. If not, oh well. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's kind of where I'm at too. Like if we look, they can call us the Green Bay or Miami Packers all they want. If that results in a change and success, I would be so happy. Call us whatever you want.
No doubt.
I'll get a shirt made that says the Miami Packers or the Green Bay Dolphins.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'll do it. It doesn't matter to me.
But it's all about the structure, the culture. What's Halfley always say? We want physical and tech fundamentals, and that's what it's all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're right, Grandizer. John Eric Sullivan or Sully. I gotta get used to just saying Sully because he said that's what he wants to be called. But Sully did say that. Actually said it twice, from what I recollect, that they're going to be looking to draft a QB every year, whether that's the first or seventh round. It doesn't matter to me. But a quarterback should be pulled from the draft every year. I agree 100% when he said that, for sure.
I mean, you think about Green Bay, you know, I mean, how many quarterbacks have they had? You know, all the way back from Brunell to Ty Detmer to, I mean, all these other guys, and they traded them for second and third round picks to get somebody else. I mean, even if your quarterback, you know, I mean, you got a good quarterback, you got one in the waiting. He's a draft chip. You know what I'm saying?
And who's been the Packers' last three quarterbacks that they've brought in from the draft and have developed and have played for many years? You have Brett Favre, you have
and they made him
Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, and they all sat exactly.
And they made him sit. I mean,
yeah,
that was the thing back in the day. You draft a quarterback, okay? Well, you draft a quarterback, you let him sit on it, hold the clipboard for 2 years, 3 years, and then he's like awesome,
Yep.
That was back in the day thing. But now it seems like we're going all the way back to like the 80s and 90s again, where we're going to start running the ball again. We went through this, shoot, run and shoot. Went through this, greatest show on turf. Now we're going to, we're running a shell defense. There's none of that anymore. So now we need some more physical running again. It's like back to the, the Walter Payton, the Riggins, all of these, hard-headed, running backs, just stick to go run.
Yeah. And that happens. It's part of the, the evolving culture of the NFL is history repeats itself, right? So you're going to have this, it's going to flow. It's going to flow from a passing league to a running league. It just depends on where everything's pointing. And right now we're going that direction towards that. So, but like this comment right here where he's talking about Chuck Burr, I don't know if those of you remember, but he was one of our old general managers, and he like Dave Hyde says, this is Geiser says this, he would draft a QB every year until they got it right. And that's the way to be. That's the attitude to have. You've got to continually draft a quarterback. Have to. Even if you think you're set, you still got to do it.
Especially in this kind of, this league, where you can get hurt in at any time. If you don't have, at least a good backup and your season's gone.
Yeah. And Josh brings up a good point here too. He said, but it's less about taking a QB every year, which he does agree with, and more so about being able to identify talent. Now, of course, you're right. You got to be able to recognize talent and coachability, right? But the people that are in the front office now, they have that ability, or at least they've shown that, right? Sully is responsible for Jordan Love. That was his baby, and now we have him here. We know that Sullivan can identify potential good players. Obviously, I think he has that ability, and that's why I really, really think that with the guys that we have in place here, this is the time to start drafting quarterbacks. So I think that's a good combination. You're right, though. You can't just throw a dart at a quarterback's name on a list every year in the draft. You have to actually, take someone that you think might have a shot. But definitely.
What is your thoughts on Ty Simpson?
I don't know.
When he gets to the underwear Olympics, I bet you he's going to rule. He was hurt half the year, had no running backs, had no wide receivers, had nothing. When he gets to the underwear Olympics, I bet you he's going to, show like, oh my God, this guy can do everything.
The underwear Olympics?
Yeah, the combine,
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I haven't heard that I think I heard it like once before. It's just funny.
Yeah, that, no pass, no nothing. They run fast. You can't do that. That's not even optional in the football. In the game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see about him. I'm not. It's too early to tell. I really think that it's too early.
I've seen him. I mean, I've seen him look like I've seen him look like Steve Young, and then I've seen him look like Jameis Winston. I've seen him look like John Manziel. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see about him. I'm not. It's too early to tell. I really think that it's too early.
I've seen him look like Steve Young, and then I've seen him look like Jameis Winston. I've seen him look like John Manziel. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I think that the first step is just identifying solid talent, right? And I'm not sure um, players that are so hit and miss. I'm not sure if that's a good way to go, just because it's not a steady incline of performance. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what ends up
But if
happening. I'm
he's
really
there at
curious.
43, but if he's there at 43, do you take him?
Mm, I don't. I
See
don't
what I'm
even know if
saying?
he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna be there that late. I think someone's
So,
gonna take
so,
a
you
shot
know,
at him, but
so he's automatically a late first rounder. Well, then why don't you know? You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Is he that guy?
I don't know. I don't know. I
That's
refrain
what I'm saying.
from judgment. I refrain from judgment right now.
He's only a 15 game starter. So, you know,
I
I
don't
mean,
know. And
if you do, you could.
there's a chance that he could wind up, going way later too. I don't know if it's a lock to be top 50, but we'll see. I got to
Right,
get going
right.
on my. I got to get going on my draft stuff here. That's going to start in the next week or two. But yeah, as of right now, I don't know where I would put him. I don't know if he'd be top 50 or not. But we'll see. We'll see. Abel, what's
The
up,
Senior
dude?
Bowl was tonight.
Trip was
Did you
good, brother.
get a chance to watch the Senior Bowl?
Yeah, I watched it.
I got you. You know, what I mean, it was kind of, you know, you know, what I mean, a little bit, but you know, what I mean, the practices that guy Malachi Fields from Notre Dame. Oh, I could see him as a Dolphin.
I'm actually with Josh on this one. I take Nussmeyer over Simpson.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, but he's so small though. He's like 6 foot, and his hands are small, and he, you know, I mean, he's got his father is an offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. He knows football, but he's like, yeah, I don't know if he's the a starting quarterback or just a great backup.
That's how I feel about Simpson.
Right, I got you, brother. I got you.
I don't know. It's hard to tell right now, but as we get closer to the draft and we get some more information on some of these guys, and once the underwear Olympics are over, as you put it, once we get a little bit more information, I think I'll have my list. Oh, I can't wait! I need to start getting into my drafts and stuff, but I haven't started yet. But
Yeah, I'm deep in the draft already. You know, I mean, you know how it is. As soon as the season's over, I'm deep in. You know, I'm always college football anyway. I love college football, so I've watched every game I possibly can, and I try to assess. That's a great guy. That's a great guy. That's a great guy. You know.
Yeah. I try to wait until we're about a month out from the draft before I go too crazy into it, just because so much changes up to that point. It's just it's
true.
hard to be accurate. It's hard to be accurate unless you're within about a month or somewhat accurate. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, the top 10 that they got for a big board right now will probably 6 of them won't be on there by the time the draft comes. Because after the Under Olympics, there's going to be some couple of people that run, 4, 2, 5, and you know what I'm saying, or the defensive end runs this shuttle time, and he can jump high. You know what I mean? So now they're going to get number 7 pick when the original, the guy would be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, and we've got here's the bottom line from all the stuff that we've been talking about. We have got a little bit of hope, right? And I know this isn't that hopium that people talk about. This is solid excitement here. Some change, right? And
Absolutely.
This change is kind of putting some fuel in all of our tanks. And let's face it, as fans, content creators, whatever you want to call me or whoever else, any of us who are fans of this team, our tanks were empty. And everybody was screaming for some change. We're getting it. We're getting change. The results are unknown right now. We don't know yet. But
what trips me out is everybody wants change, but now everybody's complaining about the change. I was losing my mind. All the other channels I'm watching, It's like, oh my God, this guy. Oh my God, this guy. Oh God, what are you doing? I was like, we need change, and why don't you just accept happening and work with the process? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's where we're at. It's change, and like I said, as for me personally, I'm not gonna be upset until I see something that makes me upset. Have assistant coaches and stuff. It's whatever. It's whatever. I'm not gonna be upset about this assistant coach or this assistant coach or this special teams coordinator. I'm not. It doesn't make any sense to be right now. Coaches do improve, just like some coaches get worse, some get better, some learn, some need a fresh start, just like some players do. We see examples of this all across the NFL. So
Every
for
year.
now, there's no point in being upset about who we have for our running backs coach or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. I know that, and like I said in the beginning of this stream, I'm going to let other YouTubers do that. If they want to get all pissy about who we have for our helmet makers or our jersey sewers, whatever, you guys go ahead and get mad. It's not going to be me, because I know that from what I'm seeing, these positions that we're hiring, the things that needed to change and absolutely we knew were a problem, those have been addressed, and they've been addressed with a different type of coach, general manager, and so forth. It's a good thing. And until I see something that makes me go, holy crap, this is horrible, I'm not going to be a part of that group. I'm very happy with what's been done.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. The more Halfley talks, the more I like him.
Abel, in the beginning of this, I know you weren't here yet, but in the beginning of the stream, I did say the one person I'm kind of concerned about that we've hired is Hackett. But what I'm going to do there is I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say I trust what Halfley's doing, and we'll see what that ends up turning into.
I mean, Hackett, he had Aaron Rodgers, as quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to, how quarterback should play. He knows the structure anyway.
And most importantly, we can listen to press conferences again. Yay! No more ums and uhs. You play the game to win the game.
Playoffs.
Oh my goodness.
They are who we thought they were. And you give them
And that's, indeed, you're right. That's where I'm at. Is I feel like this is what we're supposed to be doing right now. I'm not concerned about wins. I think competing might be the wrong word, because I do want us to be competitive, but that comes with progress, right? With moving throughout the season. So I think competing will show itself. I think we will compete this year, but I don't think we're going to have a ton of wins. We have a very difficult schedule, so I'm not concerned about wins, but you're right. It's about building this team in the way that Sully and Halfley have planned it out. And we'll see how that ends up looking. But from the type of people that they are and the things that they like, these are the things that we need. So we've got to be up for this. Yes, the draft has great defensive line and offensive line depth. And that's what I'm really concerned about here. I think we need cornerback and safety depth too. So that's all great. The wide receiver room, I would say, is a little weaker.
With number one? Who do you take with number one?
Are you ready? As of right now, I think that since we have so many gaps and so many holes, I really think you've got to go best player available.
Absolutely. I understand that. But if you had a dream pick,
go ahead.
Who would you like to have at number 11?
I'll have to go look. Like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of draft stuff yet. I'm waiting, but I'm gonna start, and I will have those answers soon. But as of right now, I would be satisfied with any of. We have so many needs that we're pretty much gonna hit on in whatever we need, on whatever we want. So I don't think there's gonna be a chance of us going quarterback in the first pick. That's for sure. But I think anything offensive line, defensive line, safety, wide receiver, even I'd be ecstatic about. So
I don't know if I want to go wide receiver. So you know what I mean?
We have a need
It's got to
of
be.
wide receiver.
I mean, Carnell Lake, he's like Waddle. You know, he's like a number 2. You know, if I had my first pick, you know what I'm saying, scale it down. So if you get dropped all the way down, you got the center fielder for he's Minka Fitzpatrick. We've been trying to get Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm really excited about, and this is what I'm thinking. We have so many third-round draft picks. I mean, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And there's a chance we could wind up with even more, depending on what happens with a couple guys. So, I think that the day 2, day 3 picks are going to be huge for us this year, and that's why I'm excited about Sully getting his chance to finally put his name on a draft. I can't wait to see what we do. I'm so excited. Oh, and then goodness gracious, you guys aren't going to see the end of it. As soon as we get into the draft stuff, I'm going to be posting mock drafts like every single day to my community on YouTube. So be looking for those. It's going to be constant.
Draft. I might draft all day, every day.
We're gonna have to. There, like I said, this is going to be the opportunity for change is here, and we've seen so much change already. I just can't wait to see what we end up doing here. I cannot wait to see what this roster is going to look like. Not necessarily just for this year, but how it starts looking as we move into the next couple of years. This is going to be. It's an exciting time.
I see that the grandizer. He says Sonny Styles. That would be a great green dot guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He is so good. And Jordan Brooks on his right-hand side. But that's not, nobody likes that, that.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to go first round with a wide receiver, but this is funny. I'll break a window if we draft a wide receiver in the first. That would be irresponsible and short-sighted. This draft is deep at wide receiver. It is deep at wide receiver. Exactly. You're right.
That's what I said.
Definitely.
I agree. I agree 100%. I'll break a window.
I wouldn't necessarily be against this if we had the right kind of deal to wind up with a couple second rounds or an extra second round and another third or something like that. Our first round draft pick isn't like high. So this is something that's a real possibility is trading down.
Yes, I would love to trade down.
Trading down with that first round. That wouldn't be bad at all. And we'll see how this draft ends up turning out and looking as we get closer. But that's something to keep your eyes on. That's a very real possibility.
In my opinion, our running back room is set. So all we need is a wide receiver. We get one of those in second and third round. We got 3 third-round picks, and they're great there's great wide receivers that could be got in the third round. Ted Hurst, Malachi Fields, Elijah Surratt.
Look at this. Look at this stat from Abel. Since 2022, the team with the most draft picks that have played are the Packers. 563 players.
Yeah.
Then last place is Miami at 122.
Abel got the information.
That's an incredible stat. I think that spells it out right there.
Player development is what it's all about.
Yeah, me too. I think that would be a fantastic idea. You'd have so many options in the middle of this draft if we did that. That'd be crazy. Go ahead.
I mean, I think the draft is solid, full of cornerbacks, wide receivers, and defensive ends. You need to get the first round pick that's going to be on the field all the time, and and a contributor, every down. I don't know who that guy is, but the first round, that's who the guy needs to be.
Yeah, definitely. Indade says those Packers rookies contributed at a sufficient level Dolphins rookies didn't reach sufficiency to start. Yeah, you're right. That would be a big difference if we had our rookies able to contribute more. So,
Yeah, but we're in a good position too at number 11. If say, somebody drops and and another team wants them really bad, let's say like a Cleveland, they're at 24 and you got 39. So they want this guy bad. They can, jump up to 11 and give us 24 and 39. Oh, that would be, great.
yeah. Yeah, we're more worried about the offensive line than you guys are. That's just the way it is. Wait, what? Big citrus? I don't think I've ever heard that. Is that his nickname? Is that his nickname? Big Citrus?
Big Citrus.
That's awesome.
Dominic Orange, yeah. We don't need no defensive tackles. We're stocked on defensive tackles.
You can never have enough defensive tackles, though.
I know, but we're not going to draft him in the second round.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah, definitely. That's a cool name, though. I would name alone.
Yeah,
I
that's
want him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's awesome.
The big citrus, Miami.
When Greer said that, Grandizer, when Greer said that, and then he laughed like it was just like he was just thought we were the stupidest group of people on the planet. I was pretty pissed off when I heard that. When I watched that press conference, that frustrated me to no end. And I'm sure it did almost every Dolphins fan, because we were all on the same page as a whole. Miami Dolphins fans, Dolphins Nation, all of us, we knew what we needed. And then when he said that, everybody was just like, well, screw you, buddy. And we were proved right. That was the best part about it. That just made him look like a horse's ass.
That's why he has no job now.
Yep. It's a good example of it for sure. Man. But here we are. We've got some change coming down the pipe, some more changes coming rather. We've seen a lot of changes already. Things are kind of looking up. You can't look at all these moves and all the things that have happened so far and say, oh, well, this is going to be a failure. I feel like if you're saying that, it's extremely short-sighted. Because why would you say that? Because the names aren't as big as you would liked. Sometimes that's the best way to go. And I feel like this iteration of the Miami Dolphins is a sunrise we can get behind. So when you have a sunrise, when you wake up in the morning and you look outside and you're like, oh, it's going to be a beautiful sunrise. Do you go back inside, shut the lights off, and lay down? No, you sit there and you watch the sunrise. You enjoy it. Let's enjoy this. There's change coming down the pipe. We've been screaming for it for years. Don't get stuck, Dolphins fans. Do not get stuck on, well, I wanted this guy, so everything else is horrible. Don't get stuck on, I wanted this player to go and this player to stay, so this whole situation is horrible. Don't get stuck on that. Take a big, broad view of what's in front of us, and let's try to give this a chance. It's just not worth it any other way. I'm going to be getting into a lot more of the draft and a lot more of these changes coming up and what's going to happen. What does it mean for our cap situation? We're going to get into all this as the offseason goes along. But for now, I feel like we're in a good position, as good as we can be, especially. And I feel like we've got some guys in positions now that actually want to make a change and want to do things right. So with that, let's just enjoy it. Let's see where this goes. Don't get down on something just because you wanted a certain player or a certain coach. It doesn't work that way. There's more than one good option, especially at this level of the NFL, right? I have one more vacation coming on February 24th. I'll be gone for a week, and then I'll be back, and I'm going to dive into the draft after that. Still going to do some live streams here and there until that point, but the point is everything will start picking up in March. And that's when I'm going to really start kicking off with a lot of this stuff going into it. Those of you guys that have been here, listening to the stream, listening to all my streams, you guys are the real ones. Thank you so much for coming in here and listening. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. I put out a lot of content. Hopefully you guys enjoy most of it. Those of you that have been around, you guys can tell these new guys if it's good or bad. Wait till I'm out of the room and then just start talking smack. Go right for it. I don't care. I want to thank everybody for being here. Elwood, thanks for coming in, dude, and giving us your opinion and your thoughts on everything. You got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Thank you for having me. And who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?
Not the Patriots.
I've got the Seattle Seahawks, 31-24.
Yeah, give me Seattle in this game. I'll take Seattle over the Patriots. I do think that, and I'm going to say this once, I won't say this a bunch, but I will say I do think Drake May is the real deal. I think Drake May is going to do a great things for the Patriots in the future. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he pulls out this win. I think this is Seattle's game. I think they're going to win this Super Bowl, and I think they deserve it. Seattle's been an amazing team all year. So, you guys make sure you come in next time. Make sure you guys hang out, throw those likes down, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. Donate if you feel like it. Don't feel like you have to. I'm going to do another stream. I'm hoping for Monday or Tuesday, and we'll start talking about some of the stuff coming down the line. Until then, thank you everybody for being here. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of your weekend. Fins up. Stay hopeful if you can, please. It's just not worth being so negative right now. Be excited.
Stay warm, Triple F.
I'll try. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate you. Fins
up.
All
right, brother, man. Behave yourself.